What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and I hope you're having an amazing day. And today we are in the east end of the city. We're going to be meeting up with Chef Andre in his test kitchen just to see how he prepares all of these different patties. On the menu he has lobster patty and your regular beef patty, and he's going to be preparing it, so keep it locked and we'll see you on the other side. We're here with Chef Andre, and today he's going to be making some exclusive patties.
Today I got for you guys, I got lobster patty and I got spicy beef patty.
How do you prepare your patty from the ground up?
Well, all natural season to give it a go for the first time, right? So for the lobster, I'm gonna make a lobster stock. So I got lobster over here. So I'm gonna take all the meat out of this.
Put all natural organic seasoning inside of
I
it?
usually put, yeah, for my patty process, I use like I'm gonna say 11 herbs and probably 4 spices. So there's like thyme, there's garlic, there's red pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff in my patties, man, compared to the stuff that we use in the regular patties. I feel like the regular patties don't put enough fillings in there and stuff like that. So yeah, I make sure for my clientele, a lot of herbs, a lot of spices. I think there's 17 of them.
What does a regular day consist of for you in terms of making the patties?
Go to the store, grab my produce first, try to find the best prices for myself, obviously, and then obviously grab the meat in terms of what the clients want. So whatever meat they order, whether it's beef, chicken, veggie, lobster, we just get that going and get it prepped. So for the first point, with lobster patties, with most patties, you're supposed to make a stock, right? So usually I have like the beef stock already made, but since I'm making a lobster patty, I'm gonna make my own lobster stock with this. The regular mirepoix, carrots, onion, celery, and bay leaf. These shells, we're gonna roast them with all the mirepoix, we call it. Carrot, celery, bay leaf, onion. Cook it with some cold water, let that simmer for about half an hour.
Of course, when you look at how he's preparing it, he's just so original with it, because you see how he has his setup, the knife. He used to prepare a lot of different meals, and he's been a chef for over 15 years. This is where he gets all the skills that he attained just by making these patties. Now he's going to be putting in some celery.
Celery, and then after that we're gonna crack these lobsters. Hopefully I do a good job, 'cause I'm pretty bad at them, cracking lobster.
He's starting with the lobster, and then he has your beef. This is what he's going to be using to make the beef patty.
Break these and take the meat out. So what you wanna do, get him loose first.
Lobster claw. This is what the lobster claw looks like. That is the biggest nugget of lobster claw that I've ever seen. He puts the shell with what he used to make the stock. It's one of the most hardest meat that you have to fight with in order to get it out of the shell.
So the most complicated meat I ever tried making for myself,
Yes.
was I'm gonna say a goat biryani. I don't know if you guys are familiar with biryanis. There are a lot of spices, a lot of different elements in terms of what to add to it. It's a simple thing, that's just rice and meat, right? But there's so many spices in a biryani. Like if you don't get it right texture of the rice.
Do you make your patties catering to every demographic?
Definitely. Yeah, I want everybody to have a slice of my patty in terms of every demographic. I would love to eventually make a butter chicken patty. But yeah, anything in terms of like any culture, I would love to add into a patty in the near future if I could. So right now we're gonna make a stock. So we're just gonna roast these to get some more flavors off this. Our carrot, our celery.
So you're supposed to be able to smell the natural aroma.
That's right. You know what I mean? That's right. See, that's why my patties have that deep taste, because I'm doing it old school, right?
He took out all the spices, But there's one that stands out the most. This. I'm not 100% sure what this is. So we're going to ask him some questions just to see what kind of spices he has inside.
Well, that's my ingredient towards my patty. There's literally, I'm gonna say probably 15 different herbs in here.
Is it hummus?
No, no, no. Not at all. There's onion, garlic, all the good stuff in here to make any dish amazing. So this is my secret ingredient for my patties that I do use. So there'll be way more natural stuff than the ground spice. That's why the patty has that nice, flavorful, bold taste to it when you do taste it.
I haven't really seen anyone make a bite-sized patty before, but this is the first time, and he makes them so precise, neat, and compact with all the necessary flavors inside of it.
Now, since we already have our mirepoix with the lobster in there to make our stock, we're gonna get the prep on the beef patty going now, so we can get that cool, because we need a cold filling when we're making our patties, right? So I should have made this yesterday, but you know, me and my boy were doing our thing, so you know, we're gonna rush it and make it look good. But we're gonna make the beef patty now, so we're gonna prep that, get it in the fridge, get that cool, and then once that's done, we're gonna get started back on the lobster, get that prepped out, get it in the fridge, get it cool. Then we're gonna work on our dough. And then, yeah, we're going to make lobster and we're going to make beef patty.
This beef is freshly bought from the store. This is what he's going to be using for the beef patties.
So we're going to get our oil in here just to get that started. Let's see if you have a hard pot. No, the pot's ain't hot yet. Let's come back. So now we're just going to go cook down our beef, just get it started.
The way how he's looking after the patty and the beef, he has to season the beef the right way so that the patty would be very flavorful, and he has to add all of his natural spices as what he's doing right now.
And don't be scared to like scrape the bottom off of the pot too, you know, because that's all good flavors in terms of getting your patty. I do have a recipe where I do measure everything for my customers. So my beautiful, smell that. So we're gonna use half of this. There's only 2 pounds of beef. Wow. That's the flavor. So you just turn it down because now you want to keep all the juices and some of the fat from the beef.
Whoa,
this is very
wow. The smell of that spice, it smells so radiant.
Just Jamaican it can, man.
The aroma off of the beef plus that spice that you just put in, it makes the kitchen smells really good.
Of course, man. Jamaican it can. So we're just gonna take a little bit from the kettle. A little bit more flavor, a little more body to it. For me, for patties with the water, I feel like, or just the wetness of it, you don't want too much of it, but you want a little bit of it. That's a perfect situation for me right here.
Different seasonings.
I would usually wait till all the redness from the beef is gone completely, and that's when I add my seasoning to it, because you want it well cooked, right? Even though it's gonna cook, even though it's in a patty, it's gonna cook even more. But I like to get it all redness out, nice brownness. Add my special seasoning to it, and just let it do its own thing.
And that is Chef Andre explaining what it is that he does when it comes on to making these patties.
So the next step into our lobster patties, as I said, I'm creating a lobster stock, kind of, or a fish stock, or whatever you might want to call it. You don't have to do this, but it's an extra step I take to ensure that my lobster patties has maximum flavor. So the stock will be added to the lobster once you're sauteing it, and just to create that nice balance and good aroma of flavors that fuse together, which to me makes a good patty, right? If the fillings has a lot of flavors to back it up.
And then when you turn it into the roux now, what are you going to do? You're going to blend it?
Yeah, well, with the meat, yeah, with the lobster meat to kind of stretch it, you do blend it. Because it is lobster meat and it's very expensive, right? Otherwise, if it wasn't so pricey, I probably would have left the lobster meat intact. But just to make it work better for me and my clientele, and get to that close texture as a beef patty, right? Where it's not too mushy, but has a little bit of background of the meat to it.
And if people are looking for you, what platform can they find
Well,
you?
if they're looking for me right now, I just created my own platform. It's called Fat Patties, which is PhatPattiez at Instagram. That's where you find me for all your local patty needs. I'm located in the GTA, Toronto. So now we got our lobster stock here. That good color that we see right now, that's actually great. That's exactly what we want. Let that simmer for the next half an hour to 45 minutes, hour, to get the maximum flavor out of it. We're gonna create a lobster patty with the same components of a beef patty, but I feel like with lobster, there's not that much flavors all the time, right? Compared to beef, there's a lot of flavor with the fat. Lobster, not that much fat. So that's why I made the lobster stock now, or fish stock, whatever you want to call it, to enhance the flavor of this. And don't forget, Andre Moore's special herbs that he's gonna put with this to give it that create that patty texture, patty flavor.
He's going to be doing a three-step process. Now he's putting in the oil instead of the pot, so let's watch that process right now.
Yeah, it's a simple little pot. Get some oil in there, get that going, get the heat going. I'm gonna fry up the lobster.
In terms of making the lobster patty, is this your first time making it?
Actually, yes. This is our first time making it together, so we're going on a journey, and hopefully it turns out well.
I've never ate a lobster patty before, but you already know what to expect. The flavor is completely different. I can already taste the lobster patty before it's even made.
Fresh lobster meat broken from the clan, so yo. And this price, you know, enough money for this. I'm not trying to tell it.
Now he adds the lobster nugget inside of the pot with the oil, and he's going to crush them into fine pieces in order for it to fit inside of the patty. Wow, you can already smell the flavor building. His most famous sauce infused with all of his different organic ingredients that he add to the bottle. You can see how much the sauce inside of the lobster changed. It's now a yellow color, but you can also see the orange claw nuggets. What is the consistency for the lobster is supposed to be?
For the fact there's no fat, it's gonna be different, right?
The lobster gives an elegant look to this spoon. Just to see how much flavor is inside of it. Let's try this. I'm not expecting that flavor. It gives you curry taste. The flavors that he adds to it, it really helps to give the lobster the extra added taste. The most interesting part about this is how he utilizes the stock to bring more flavor to the lobster. And then he added all of his other flavors as he's nearing the finishing product for the lobster patty. He turns it into a puree. And this is what is going to be added. How did you come to this idea?
YouTube and a lot of people over the years that I've seen make patties, and I just created my own. So this recipe literally came from trial and error and watching people and learning and asking questions so that I could get the proper situation for myself.
What is your niche when it comes down to knowing what you're doing in the kitchen?
I would say definitely always having your mise en place in place.
Look at that, guys.
And for the people that's to know, the amount of lobster in here, probably $200. So lobster is very pricey. So that's why it's pureed, other than keeping it chunky. So I'm just letting y'all know, lobsters are very pricey meat.
He makes sure that his money is going to good use.
Yeah. Same way a beef patty tastes, I expect my chicken patty, my lobster patty, just any patty in general, just to keep that guideline going in terms of like the same flavor profile. And I feel like you can't go wrong that way, right?
All the consistency is just perfect inside of the lobster. It gives you a real homemade taste. The fact that he perfected this ingredient is really a natural ability, knowing how far he has come from in terms of cooking.
So the color is a mixture of turmeric and curry. You get a nice yellow consistency, a Jamaican patty feel. For the fact I don't have a dough sheeter, use a pasta maker. So in a way, I'm kind of finessing the system by doing it this way.
And of course you have to add your flour just to make sure that it does not stick to the... What is so unique about your patties?
I'm going to say definitely the love, but the natural herbs and spices that are in it, you know? I try to use less powder season and more natural ingredients like the red pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper, thyme, garlic, ginger, scotch bonnet, green onions. So all that infused into my patty gives it an arrangement of just flavors bursting in your mouth. If you don't got chow, I'm cost you. Alright, here we go. Look at that beauty. Let's do it again.
He's going to be adding the beef filling, and the most exciting part is how he's going to be adding it, because he put it inside of a piping bag in order to put it on the patty.
So I love to give my people a lot of meat, so I'm not going to be cheap on the meat.
Oh yes,
So
look at that.
I try to be as much, you know.
Look at how much he makes.
I could probably make 3 patties out of this. You know, I don't scoop it out. I try to give you as much meat as I can. And how we finesse the system now, we just take the dough, fold it over on itself. Fold it over, you know. Fold it over on itself. I use my hand to mold the patties.
It gives it an empanada look. You can already see the girth of the patty just by how much he's using his hand.
I'm just starting out, so I'm just trying to like play around with it. So I just use my hand because I figure more or less it's still gonna come into a nice patty flavor. Then I get my patty cutter and I shape it to my likeness in terms of my cut. So I try to give it as much crust, as much meat as possible, because they are mini cocktail patties, right? So watch how I do it. More crust, around, 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 boom, there's a patty.
Wow.
More crust,
Wow.
around, 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 boom, there's a patty.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Gonna
I
mix.
can't wait to see how he prepares the lobster patties. He's going to be rolling the dough again. Then he's going to be adding the lobster inside of it.
Now we're gonna make the dough for our patties, right? It's a simple 4-step process. I use pastry flour, 550 of this. Actually, I'm probably not gonna give you all the guys recipes, but yeah.
Is cooking a passion for you? How has the journey been as a chef, and where did you start when it comes on to the cooking?
We used to do a thing called run boat. Run boat is when everybody puts stuff together in terms of the resource that they have. If somebody have a can of mackerel, call that dirty gal, or some ackee, somebody teeth of a somebody tree, you get some flour at the store. We get a little cheese tin, which is a big Jamaican cheese out of tin, and we'll create our own fire and we'll make our own lunch, you know. So we do boil the dumpling first, put that one side, everyone get 2-3 dumpling. While we're doing all that, we're learning to cook ourselves, and that created the love for cooking for me, and that made my life a lot easier.
Now we're gonna watch him make the dough for the patties.
Each part of the dough, just a little bit of the butter and the fat that it needs. For the mere fact that I'm only using a KitchenAid and not an industrialized mixer, you kind of gotta help it to make sure each part of the dough gets a little bit of the butter and the margarine that's used into it, and the shortening and stuff like that. So make sure it gets like a nice sandy feel or grainy feel, and that's what you're looking for. Once you get your nice sandy grainy feel, you know your dough is ready, and then you can add your cold water. It has to be cold water. Remember that, people. Cold water. That almost brought my stick. So now we're gonna add our water to this to mix the dough quicker, because you don't want to overwork the dough. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with my stick. Nice dough. You can see that layers of just fat, random stuff. Exactly what you want. You want that crispiness, right? This is good stuff. Fluffy, flaky. You can tell it's gonna be very flaky once it's baked.
What I really enjoy is what the patty brings to many different demographics, including your Jamaicans and everyone in and around the GTA. But also you find very similar aspects of the Jamaican patties if you really look at how the beef and the layer between the beef and the patty. This is what you mainly look forward to each and every time you enjoy a beef patty.
So this is the lobster meat that we're gonna use for a lobster patty. I'm just gonna fold that bad boy over, get it in there, get enough space worked out, clamp it down, give it a beauty. Yeah, man.
Where he forms the dough and the lobster is where he's going to be cutting. Look at how perfect and exact he is. That is what you call a real chef. They're also beautiful in texture. Today we're only preparing patties, guys. I can't wait to taste one of these. From how it's prepared to the final stage, the flakiness of these patties is what I'm really looking forward to. But imagine having these inside of a cocoa bread. I am really excited to dig into this lobster patty. We're going to see what the flavoring is like, how Chef Andre does what he does, and how he's able to make all of these different patties. I'm going to break this open. It's not even breaking open like how we expected it to. I like how you can see the different layers between the lobster. You taste the flakiness, you taste the moistness. So lobster is flooding the patty. This is the most sweetest part of it. It's just the right texture, and how everything is infused in the patty. It makes the patty that much better to eat. And if you guys really enjoy this content, please click that like button. Let me know where you guys would like to see me visit next. Please leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until then, guys, we're out.